Chicago Bears Weekly is back. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Ep.1 Sports signing in. And in today's episode, Season 9 premiere of Chicago Bears Weekly, we're going to take a look back at our former head coach, Matt Eberflus, and talk about why his time with the Chicago Bears just was not a true success like we thought it was going to be. But I'm not going to make this intro any longer. Chicago Bears Weekly is back, and it's time to talk about Eberflus. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Okay, just to give a bit of background on Matt Eberflus' time before he was hired by the Chicago Bears. He was the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts starting in 2018, and his defense was 10th in league in points per game and 11th in yards. 2019, they had a bit of a drop-off, but I think a lot of that was due to the sudden retirement of Andrew Luck, which he had 18th in points, and he was a team that was ranked 16th in yards. Now, 2020 is where things start to get good for his defense, where they ranked 10th in points and 8th in yards. Even though they had a drop-off in yards in 2021 with ranking 16th, they were 9th in the league in points per game. The Bears, after that 2021 season, which a lot of hope was given into that 21 season under Matt Nagy, but let's face it, it did not go well. They finished 6-11, and Matt Nagy and also GM Ryan Pace were let go of the door. Then bring in Ryan Poles and bring in Matt Eberflus during the 2022 offseason. I personally was hoping they went towards an offensive route because the Bears had just acquired Justin Fields from the number 10 pick in the draft for the previous year with a trade up for him. And I think they should have hired a coach that would have helped him develop offensively. Now, we know the defense is a staple with the Chicago Bears, but when we're talking about how that team was structured at that point, it was time to get an offensive guy in to help fix the offense that has been basically struggling for God knows how long. But nonetheless, we gave hope in Matt Eberflus, but the franchise were going towards an opposite direction of winning. Letting go of guys like Khalil Mack, Keem Hicks was out the door, Andy Dalton, a guy like Kyle Fuller was out of the door. So this team was basically getting rid of a lot of the things in the previous regime, and now they were resuming on to a new one, which, let's be honest, they did not do a ton in that free agency, as in they needed to start this team from scratch, which I will be honest, I agree with at that entire point. It was entirely time to get in a new system, to get in a new play caller, to get in a new team, getting new guys on his roster, so it was going to take time. So year one, let's just say year one of the Chicago Bears was not good. They had a 3-14 record. They had a 10-game losing streak. It was just one of those things that we were just in a year of a rebuild, so we knew it was not going to be a successful season. But the team, it played hard. The team, it looked like, okay, there's things there to build. Justin Fields had a good season despite them not having any weapons in the outside. And defensively, it just didn't look like he fixed the defense. But like I said, they were a lack of talent, which the defense finished last in points and 29th in the league in yards. Things were not getting up to a good start. Then we start off 2023, and the losing streak continued. The Bears were 0-4 to start off the year before finally ending the losing streak on Thursday night against the Washington Commanders, where everything started to click with them offensively. They still had some bad games. They still, as a defense, one thing that kept him his job during that season was that the defense started to play better down the stretch. Once the Bears acquired Montez in a midseason trade during 2023, the defense and what Matt Eberflus wanted from the defense, it looked like it all started to come together. Whether it was guys like Jaylon Johnson, Montez, who they acquired, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, who they acquired in the 2022 draft, and both of those players, and Tyreek Stevenson, who they had drafted as a rookie, started to look promising in 2023. In the offensive side of the ball, they had some hiccups but they started to run the ball effectively. Fields' legs, and then a guy like Khalil Herbert started to play well. They were starting to get some things going offensively. In the offseason acquisition of DJ Moore, when they traded that #1 overall pick, it looked like, okay, we're starting to build pieces around it. We're starting to get things around Fields. We're starting to get this defense together. And it looked like the end of that 2023 season, despite them losing to the Green Bay Packers to end the year, it looked like, okay, once they get a few more things going, once they get a few more pieces on offense, maybe change the offensive scheme, which, let's be honest, Luke Getsy, it was not looking good, and it was time for them to move on. But they changed the whole shift by trading Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers and acquiring Caleb Williams with the #1 overall pick. And I think that is where the problem lies. If they're playing, and this is something that I purposely said during this 2021 offseason when they acquired Justin Fields, if their plan was to draft a quarterback, they needed to scrap and start with a new coaching staff, despite how good that defense looked in the latter half of the year. If they were going to do that, just like Matt Nagy, it was time to move on from Matt Eberflus. Now, 2024, they had some, at the beginning, it was like, okay, this team is finally getting together. They were 4-2, and it looks like, okay, we're starting to get somewhere. Offensively, they were running the football a little bit more. Caleb Williams is starting to develop game by game. But the problem with this team and with Matt Eberflus is why he got fired was, #1, coaching decisions, whether it was not calling timeouts, and that was against the Lions to kind of echelon and kind of put a foot in it, or whether it was late game decisions to necessarily let the Commanders get the yards in that Hail Mary play that I think changed the whole fortune of this season. The team looked like they quit on them. The team looked like it was just out there and not necessarily playing hard football. And it showed. Hard Knocks showed one thing, and the season started to show another. We're talking about this Chicago Bears team in 2024. It had a lot of expectations. Whether it was acquiring Keenan out, drafting Odunze, you get Caleb Williams #1 overall, who's one of the better talents coming out of college in the past couple of years. So this team already had high expectations to win now. Some of this is not on Eberflus. Problem is, they didn't fix the offensive line. They didn't fix the interior of the defensive line. And that was a whole nother problem. Matt Eberflus' I think, coaching decisions, his timeout decisions, his late game decisions, and the inability to truly develop on the offensive side of the ball, which is why Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator that was hired in, was fired as well. It just, nothing came together. No improvements were made. And it looked like this team was just continuing back on a downslide that they saw at the beginning of 2023 and for much of the 2022 season. And at that point, the Thanksgiving game against the Lions, where he didn't call a timeout late, it was time for change. Now, Matt Eberflus at this current state is the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. I wish him well there, but the main thing, this team didn't develop offensively under his leadership. This team started to regress even after having a good game. They were never consistent under Matt Eberflus, and we had a bunch of losing streaks. We could never put together 3 games in a row. We didn't win on the road on a Sunday, and it was just a team that was a catastrophic mess. Heading out of the things he did, it was just a mess in Chicago, and it was surprisingly that he got fired mid-season, as the Bears had never in their franchise history fired a coach mid-season. But that explains how things really got that bad in the locker room, how things really got that bad on the football field, and a team that had so many expectations and it just never lived up to them. And then the coaching decisions just ultimately led to his firing. So he failed because he became a lame duck coach, kind of like Matt Nagy. Coaching decisions was never good. The roster didn't develop, and they were never a consistent football team under him. So Matt Eberflus is now out. We got Ben Johnson in, and we're just going to wait and see how that goes. I'll talk about that in later videos. But that is all I have. Chicago Bears Episode 1, Season 9 is now concluded. Make sure you guys leave your thoughts, your comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online. The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up. But you can switch your location to Canada, and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below, and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video.